Hello, everyone. Dr. Berg here. Today, I want to talk about something that might completely shift the way you think about your body and your health. It's this: don't manage sickness, build health instead. When most people think about health, they think about managing symptoms. They go to the doctor, describe what's wrong, and walk out with something to make the discomfort go away. But real health isn't about masking symptoms, it's about restoring function. The body doesn't produce symptoms randomly. Every symptom is feedback, a signal, a message that something deeper needs attention. Pain, fatigue, cravings, or brain fog aren't the real problems, they're clues. The issue begins when we treat those clues as nuisances instead of information. When we silence them with medications, caffeine, or quick fixes, we're essentially putting tape over the warning light on the dashboard. The light may disappear, but the engine still needs repair. The human body is built with incredible intelligence. Every organ, hormone, and cell communicates constantly, trying to maintain balance. When something goes wrong, it doesn't mean the body has failed. It means it's compensating for stress, poor nutrition, or overload. If you focus on restoring how the body works rather than simply muting its distress signals, you allow that intelligence to take over again. For example, if your blood pressure is high, the real question isn't how to bring the number down artificially, but why your body is creating that pressure. Is there stiffness in the arteries from chronic inflammation? Is there insulin resistance affecting the kidneys? When you discover the cause, you can correct the mechanism instead of forcing the symptom to behave. Restoring function means thinking holistically. It's about asking, what's interfering with the body's ability to heal? The body already knows how to repair itself. Cuts heal, bones mend, infections are fought off automatically. But when we overload the system with processed foods, refined sugars, artificial ingredients, and constant eating, we overwhelm its healing capacity. The liver, the gut, and the mitochondria, the little energy factories inside your cells, can't do their jobs properly. The result is dysfunction, not disease out of nowhere. That's why nutrition, sleep, and stress control are foundational. You can't heal a body that's constantly under pressure. You have to create the environment for it to thrive. One of the main reasons people struggle with health is that they've been taught to separate the body into isolated systems. They see the heart as one machine, the brain as another, and the digestive tract as something else entirely. But your body doesn't work in departments, it's one connected system. When insulin rises from excess carbohydrates, it affects the liver, which affects the arteries, which affects the brain. When cortisol rises from stress, it affects sleep, weight gain, immunity, and even digestion. Managing sickness often means trying to treat each symptom separately. An antacid for the stomach, a pill for cholesterol, something else for fatigue. Restoring function means tracing all those back to a single imbalance and fixing it at its source. The beauty of this approach is that once you restore function, you don't need to fight disease. You simply get out of your body's way. A healthy metabolism doesn't need to fight fat, it naturally burns it. A balanced immune system doesn't need medication to control inflammation, it regulates itself. By shifting the focus from suppression to support, you reclaim the body's natural intelligence. This doesn't mean rejecting medicine, it means using it wisely while addressing what caused the dysfunction in the first place. So stop chasing relief and start building restoration. Instead of asking how to manage your symptoms, ask what your body is trying to tell you. Because when you fix how the body works, the symptoms that once seemed like enemies often disappear on their own. Health isn't achieved by controlling your body. It's achieved by understanding it, respecting it, and allowing it to function the way it was designed to. Most people live their entire lives reacting to symptoms rather than investigating their causes. They notice high blood pressure, constant fatigue, or stubborn weight gain, and they immediately look for something to make the symptom go away. But the body doesn't create symptoms without reason. Every imbalance, every bit of discomfort is an alarm that something deeper needs attention. Fixing the root cause instead of the result is the difference between short-term management and true healing. When you only treat the result, you stay in a cycle of dependence, more pills, more treatments, more frustration. But when you uncover and correct the underlying problem, the body doesn't need constant correction. It naturally returns to balance. At the core of most chronic health issues lies a breakdown in how the body processes energy and manages inflammation. Modern diets and lifestyles push insulin too high, overload the liver, and create nutrient deficiencies. The result isn't one isolated disease, it's a cascade of dysfunctions. High insulin leads to weight gain, high blood pressure, brain fog, and fatigue. Instead of treating each of these individually, the smarter question is, why is insulin high in the first place? When you lower insulin through intermittent fasting and low-carb eating, You fix the engine instead of just wiping away the warning lights. The blood pressure normalizes, the energy returns, the brain clears. That's the power of root, because thinking people often assume disease is something that just happens to them as if it's random. But the truth is, most illnesses are built silently over time through the accumulation of small daily choices: what you eat, how you sleep, how you handle stress. When you consume sugar and refined carbs, your pancreas pumps out insulin to control blood sugar. When this happens repeatedly for years, your cells stop responding properly. That's insulin resistance. And from that single imbalance, a dozen other conditions appear. If you only chase those conditions, you'll be treating the downstream effects forever. But if you fix insulin resistance, those problems begin to fade on their own. The same principle applies to inflammation. Inflammation is the body's natural defense mechanism. But when it becomes chronic from stress, toxins, or poor diet, it damages tissues and disrupts hormones. Instead of taking something just to suppress inflammation, address what's causing it. Is it a food sensitivity, a lack of omega-3 fats, too much sugar or alcohol? Once you remove the triggers, inflammation settles naturally. The goal isn't to silence the body, but to help it regain its ability to self-regulate. Fixing the root because requires patience and awareness. It means looking beyond the label of the disease and understanding what drives it. Take fatigue, for example. It could stem from poor mitochondrial function, nutrient deficiencies, or unstable blood sugar. A stimulant like caffeine may mask the tiredness, but it doesn't fix the problem, it only hides it. Supporting the mitochondria with real nutrients and stabilizing blood sugar through better food timing and quality will address the reason you feel drained in the first place. This way of thinking puts you back in control. It's not about waiting for someone to diagnose or rescue you. It's about learning how your body works and removing what interferes with its function. When you take this approach, the body doesn't need to be forced into health. It gravitates toward it naturally. The energy returns, the mood stabilizes, the skin clears, and the digestion improves, all because you're no longer working against your biology, the root, because mindset also prevents relapse. When you fix only the result, the problem keeps coming back because the cause hasn't changed. But when you fix the cause, the result changes permanently. Your health becomes stable, predictable, and resilient. You're no longer patching holes in a sinking ship. You're rebuilding the foundation. The human body doesn't need to be micromanaged. It just needs to be understood. Once you stop chasing symptoms and start fixing the real issues, your body rewards you with balance, strength, and lasting vitality. Most people think of food as nothing more than fuel, a way to fill the stomach or satisfy hunger. They count calories, weigh portions, and obsess over numbers, believing that all calories are created equal. But food is far more powerful than that. Food is not just energy, it's information. Every bite you take sends a message to your cells, your hormones, your metabolism, and even your genes. The type of message you send determines whether your body builds health or stores sickness. When you understand this, the entire concept of eating changes from simple consumption to intelligent communication with your body. When you eat sugar or refined carbohydrates, you're not just giving your body quick energy, you're instructing it to raise insulin. Elevated insulin tells your cells to store fat, stop burning energy, and prepare for scarcity. That's why even small, frequent meals or snacks can keep you in a constant fat storage mode. On the other hand, when you eat nutrient-rich foods like vegetables, healthy fats, and quality proteins, you send a completely different signal. You tell your body to burn fat, build muscle, repair tissues, and stabilize energy. The body listens closely to what you eat. It responds not to calorie counts, but to biochemical messages. Most modern health problems stem from mixed messages. The average diet today is loaded with refined sugars, trans fats, and artificial ingredients, foods that confuse the body. They cause spikes in insulin, inflammation, and hormonal chaos. Your body gets the wrong instructions: store more fat, hold on to water, raise blood sugar, and suppress natural healing. Over time, this leads to chronic fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, and disease. But when you start feeding the body real food, leafy greens rich in potassium, avocados full of healthy fats, eggs packed with choline, and salmon with omega-3s, the internal communication shifts. The liver starts cleansing, the brain sharpens, and energy becomes stable instead of crashing after every meal. The concept of feeding the body information rather than calories also explains why diets that focus only on quantity rarely work long term. You can eat 1,000 calories of processed snacks and still be hungry because your body is starving for nutrients, not just energy. The cells aren't getting the vitamins and minerals they need to run properly. When that happens, hunger signals keep firing, pushing you to eat more, even though you've already consumed plenty of calories. But when you give your body nutrient dense food, it feels satisfied because it's received the right instructions. Hunger fades naturally and you eat less without even trying. Food also affects hormones beyond insulin. The types of fat you eat influence your hormones that control mood and inflammation. The amino acids from protein affect neurotransmitters that regulate focus and sleep. Even the fiber in vegetables affects your gut bacteria, which then send messages to your brain. It's a vast communication network, and food is the language it speaks. The cleaner and more natural your food, the clearer the communication becomes. The more processed and artificial your food, the more static you create in that communication line. If you start thinking of your meals as messages instead of mere meals, your choices will naturally improve. You'll stop asking, how many calories are in this? And start asking, what is this food telling my body to do? That one shift transforms everything. You realize that a sugary drink isn't just a treat, it's a command for your body to store fat and inflame tissues. A bowl of vegetables with olive oil isn't just a salad, it's a signal to heal, cleanse, and energize. So every time you eat, you're programming your biology. You're either instructing it to thrive or to deteriorate. Food can act like medicine or it can act like poison depending on the messages it carries. The choice is yours. When you feed your body the right information through real, whole, nutrient-rich foods, it knows exactly what to do: burn fat efficiently, repair itself, and maintain vibrant, lasting health. Time is one of the most powerful healing tools available, yet it's the one most people ignore. We live in a world of constant eating, constant stimulation, and constant stress. From the moment we wake up until we go to bed, we're consuming something: food, coffee, snacks, entertainment, or information. The body never gets a break. But healing requires rest, not only in sleep, but also in the simple act of not eating all the time. When you give your body time without food, you allow it to switch from storing energy to repairing itself. That's the essence of fasting. It's not starvation, it's restoration. Your body has two primary modes: feeding and fasting. When you're eating, digestion takes priority. Insulin rises, energy is stored, and cellular repair slows down. When you stop eating for a while, insulin drops, and the body begins to burn fat for fuel. But something even more important happens: your cells start to clean themselves. This process, known as autophagy, literally means self-eating. It's how the body removes damaged proteins, old cell parts, and toxins. It's like taking out the biological trash. Without periods of fasting, that trash builds up, slowing down metabolism, accelerating aging, and making you feel sluggish. Giving the body time allows it to reset at a deep cellular level. For decades, people were told that eating small meals every few hours was the key to keeping metabolism high. But the truth is that constant eating keeps insulin elevated and prevents fat burning. It traps you in a cycle of hunger, cravings, and fatigue. When insulin is always high, your body can't access stored fat for energy. You end up running on sugar all day, crashing every few hours, and reaching for snacks to survive. By simply creating space between meals, say 14 to 18 hours of fasting, you flip the metabolic switch. The body starts burning fat instead of sugar, energy becomes steady, and hunger fades. That's when you realize how powerful time really is as a healing force. During fasting, the body doesn't just use fat for energy, it becomes more efficient overall. Growth hormone increases, preserving muscle mass, inflammation decreases, which helps with joint pain, brain fog, and fatigue. The liver gets a chance to detoxify, and digestion finally rests. The immune system strengthens because it's not constantly busy processing food. People who fast regularly often report mental clarity, calmness, and focus. That's because ketones produced during fasting are a cleaner fuel for the brain than glucose. It's not magic, it's biology working as designed. Time also regulates appetite naturally. When you eat all the time, hunger hormones like ghrelin become dysregulated. You think you're hungry when you're not, and you end up eating for comfort or habit instead of need. When you extend the time between, your hunger hormones reset. You start to feel what real hunger actually is, and it happens less often. Your relationship with food becomes balanced, no longer ruled by cravings. That's why fasting isn't a diet, it's a rhythm, a return to the body's original design. Humans evolve with cycles of eating and not eating. Constant food availability is new, and our bodies haven't adapted to it. Using time as a healing tool also extends beyond fasting. The same principle applies to sleep, rest, and recovery. Your body heals when you're not forcing it to perform. Giving yourself downtime physically, mentally, and metabolically is what allows growth and repair. Most people try to push their bodies harder when they feel bad, but the secret is often doing less, not more. Letting your body pause is when healing happens. So when you think about improving your health, don't just focus on what to eat. Focus on when not to, Every hour you spend not eating is an hour your body can spend healing, burning fat, balancing hormones, and restoring energy. Time isn't the enemy. It's the most natural form of medicine. Your body has health is not something you can buy. It's something you build. Modern society has taught people to look for instant fixes, a pill, a supplement, or a product that promises transformation without effort. But the truth is, real health doesn't come in a bottle or a box. It's the sum of consistent choices made day after day. Every meal you eat, every night of sleep you prioritize, every walk you take, every stressful moment you learn to manage, these are the building blocks of lasting health. The process may seem slow, but the results are deep, stable, and genuine. You can't outsource it and you can't skip it. You build it from within. When you rely solely on medication or quick remedies, you're managing symptoms, not transforming the foundation. Imagine patching cracks in a wall while ignoring that the foundation is crumbling underneath. The wall may look fine for a while, but eventually it gives in. The human body works the same way. You can take something to bring down blood pressure or ease pain, but unless you fix the underlying issue, nutritional imbalance, stress overload, or lifestyle neglect, the problem will reappear. Building health means fortifying that foundation so that the cracks never form in the first place. Your body is constantly rebuilding itself. Every cell in your skin, bones, muscles, and organs regenerates over time. The materials it uses to rebuild come directly from what you give it: your food, your rest, your hydration, your mental state. If those materials are poor, the rebuild will be weak. If they're rich and nourishing, your body will thrive. This is why eating real, nutrient dense food is more powerful than any supplement. A supplement can support the process, but it cannot replace the daily foundation of whole foods, clean water, sunlight, and movement. Building health also requires consistency. You can't undo years of neglect in a few days of effort. Just as you can't build a strong house by hammering for one day, you can't expect a resilient body without continuous care. Consistency compounds. Each night of proper sleep improves hormonal balance. Each sugar-free meal stabilizes insulin. Each hour of fasting improves metabolic flexibility. Every small action builds on the last until your health becomes strong enough to resist illness naturally. It's not about perfection, it's about steady direction. There's also a mindset shift involved. Many people treat health as something external, something they either have or don't have, something given by luck or genetics. But when you see health as something you build, you realize you have control. You're the architect. Your daily habits, thoughts, and priorities lay the bricks. If you live in a body that feels tired, inflamed, or heavy, you don't need to fight it. You need to start rebuilding. The process begins with awareness, understanding how your body works, what it needs, and what harms it. From there, you make better decisions, food choices that lower inflammation, activities that strengthen your metabolism, routines that calm your nervous system. Building health doesn't mean rejecting modern medicine. It means not depending on it to do what only you can do. Medicine can assist, but it can't replace the effort of nurturing your own biology. Think of it as teamwork. Medical care can manage emergencies, but your daily lifestyle determines your long-term outcome. Every time you eat a nutrient-rich meal, go for a walk instead of scrolling on your phone, or go to bed an hour earlier, you're investing in your body's future. Those choices accumulate into vitality. The people who age well, maintain energy, and live free of chronic conditions don't get there by accident. They've built health over years of small, intentional actions. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. Building health means taking ownership and realizing your body is your greatest investment. What you do daily matters far more than what you do occasionally. The earlier you start building, the stronger your structure becomes. And the longer it lasts, the human body is not broken by default. It is built with an incredible ability to adapt, repair, and regenerate. Every second, millions of cells die and millions more are created. Cuts close, bones knit back together, and infections are fought off without conscious effort. The body knows exactly how to heal. It just needs the right environment to do it. The problem is that modern life constantly interferes with this natural intelligence. Poor food choices, chronic stress, lack of sleep, and environmental toxins all work against the body's healing systems. Instead of supporting this design, most people fight against it, suppressing symptoms and ignoring signals that something deeper needs attention. But true health begins when you stop trying to control the body and start supporting it. When you remove the obstacles to healing, the body takes care of the rest. Take inflammation, for example. Inflammation itself isn't the enemy, it's a healing response. It's the body's way of isolating damage and initiating repair. The problem arises when the cause of inflammation, processed foods, sugar, stress, toxins, never goes away. the body stays stuck in a repair mode that never completes. Instead of masking the inflammation with medication, addressing the root cause allows the process to finish naturally. The body doesn't need to be forced into balance. It finds balance on its own once the interference is gone. Every system in the body is connected. The gut affects the brain, the liver affects the hormones, and the adrenal glands affect energy and mood. When one system is off, the others compensate until the strain becomes too great. That's when symptoms appear, not because the body is failing, but because it's doing everything it can to adapt. Supporting the body means giving it the raw materials it needs to heal: nutrients, hydration, oxygen, movement, and rest. It also means taking away the things that cause constant stress: refined carbs, artificial ingredients, emotional overload, and sleep deprivation. When you do that, the body shifts from survival mode to healing mode. Many people underestimate how simple healing can be once you align with the body's natural design. Something as basic as getting enough sleep allows growth hormone to rebuild the tissue, the liver to detoxify, and the brain to clear waste. A walk outdoors can lower stress hormones and improve insulin sensitivity. Intermittent fasting gives the digestive system time to rest and cells time to renew. These aren't medical interventions, they're natural rhythms the body has always relied on. Supporting them doesn't require advanced technology, just awareness and consistency. It's also important to listen to your body instead of fighting it. Symptoms are not punishments, they're messages. Fatigue tells you your energy systems are overworked. Digestive discomfort tells you something in your diet doesn't belong. Skin breakouts, bloating, or anxiety are signals of imbalance, not random defects. When you suppress these messages with quick fixes, you silence the communication instead of resolving the problem. Supporting the body means listening to what it's saying and adjusting accordingly. If you feed it well, let it rest, and manage stress, it responds with vitality. The body's ability to heal is built into its design, but it operates best under the right conditions. Imagine trying to grow a plant. You can't force it to grow by pulling on the stem. You simply provide sunlight, water, and soil, and it grows on its own. Your body is no different. You can't force it into health through willpower or medication alone. You can only create the conditions for health to emerge naturally. Once you stop fighting your body and start supporting it, everything changes. The weight begins to balance, the energy returns, the mind clears, and the immune system strengthens. The process may not be instant, but it's reliable. Health isn't something to chase, it's something to uncover. The body already knows how to do the work. Your role is to remove what blocks it and nourish what sustains it.